Hugh Hefner, a true American icon, created an empire that was unrivaled.
Although some of us bunnies may have gone rogue, it's because of the love and respect that we received from the man behind it all.
Because after all, we did learn from the best.
Relive the stories from the most prominent celebrity home in history.
What happens in the grotto stays in the grotto.
From those of us that lived it,
The employees that worked it,
And the guests who loved it.
And
the mayhem
continues.
I'm Brian Olea, and we are here with another wonderful, fantastic, fun party atmosphere show of Rogue Bunnies Mayhem. We have the lovely
Victoria Fuller.
Jennifer Pershing.
and it's Bryant.
With a T.
Bryant with a T. Bryant Horowitz, butler extraordinaire. Doctor. I should be calling you Dr. Bryant,
Doctor.
right?
It
is Doctor.
Dr. Horowitz.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dude, welcome, man. Welcome to the
Thanks.
show.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, we've been wanting to get you on for a long time, man. So
I'm
I'm
happy to be
stoked.
here.
And what a perfect day, because I know you and Jen are kind of geeking out for today, right?
Dave Day.
It is Dave Day.
So for our listeners, what does Dave Day mean?
Dave Day means that tonight it is a Dave Matthews Band concert. And Jen and I happen to be...
I
Jen-
mean, no one's heard that name out my mouth.
Jen,
Oh my God.
Jen
How
and
did
I
I not
may be slight fans.
He might be slightly more of a legit fan than I am because they can do no wrong in his eyes. So
Wait. You've seen Dave Matthews Band how many times, Jennifer?
I saw it's like 100. Yeah. He's seen them more though.
What?
Yeah.
Tonight's 105
Yeah.
for me.
Dude.
Yeah.
105.
Now I remember back at the mansion, you were the president of the fan club?
No, I was just
He wishes he was.
one of the original members. That's all. Not the president.
What were you going to say, Scott?
I'm gobsmacked. And by the way, that was our cameraman who couldn't stifle himself.
Oh yeah, Michael could hold that back. Well, Michael, who also was a butler at the mansion, so he, there's a lot of the inside joke of the Dave Matthews with the Bryant.
Who do you think trained Michael?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I mean, before he was even of age, he used to come hang out and just sit in the pantry with us.
Oh my God, that's right.
Uh-huh. And then we were like, wait, you're actually working here now? All right, I guess I'll train you.
Well, I told him he couldn't start working until he turned 21.
Yep.
I said when he turns 21, then we'll bring him in.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, man. Thanks for
course.
remembering that. And thanks
He
for you
remembers-
take him under.
Every single detail of every single thing of every day of his entire life.
you're one
Brian
of
Horowitz
those.
and Alan Loeb. I swear, you two, your brains, you do have those memories. You have those memories that can come up with every detail.
He's like, don't you remember that show in 2010 and this happened and then they went into this song and I'm like, no, I was drunk. I was vibing, but I don't remember any of that.
Touche. Well, maybe part of that is just being sober enough to remember it. I don't know.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
could
there's
be.
that.
Well, I
It
love
could
the
be.
fact that you both are starting off with the tequila. You're getting yourselves primed up
Listen.
for the show tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What kind of tequila is this?
I have no idea. I think this is Patron Silver. Yep.
Tasty.
Wow. Is
Mhm.
it mixed with something?
a little bit of Perrier, I believe?
Oh, okay, because it's a large shot glass.
Yeah.
I just said I'll have what she's having, so I don't know.
It's number 4 for me, and I'm not talking in cursive yet, so I think we're all right.
I think we need to reach out to them and tell them they owe us some freaking,
Sponsorship
monies for
money.
sponsorship.
This is exciting for me though, because every Dave show that you or I have,
Mhm.
we are attached at the hip on our phones.
Yep.
Like they're playing this song, they're playing this song, they're playing this song, and oh my God, we're getting this. Oh my God, we're getting that, and only we understand because everyone thinks we're nuts.
I even did that to you last night while you were at your own
Yeah, I'm like,
Metallica
I'm
show.
at Metallica, and he's like, yeah, they're playing this. I'm like, I can watch it from my app because I follow it too.
Have you either one of you ever met him in person?
No.
Yes.
You have?
He has, but I've met Carter, and he named his son after the drummer Carter.
did.
So we've met each other's unobtainable meet and greet. So it's
How'd you meet him?
You want to know my story?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, back in
Wah, wah, wah.
back in 2000, the morning show hosts of K-Rock, Kevin and Bean, used to do every few months they do a breakfast with ... So they had Radiohead on and they had, U2 and stuff like that. So finally one day they said, oh, we're going to have Dave Matthews, not the band, just Dave. And they said, for 2 weeks, they're like, you can call in and answer these trivia questions, which of course I knew every answer. But you have to be like caller 106 or whatever it is, caller 20. And I could not get through for 2 weeks. And then the week before the breakfast, they said, okay, we're going to do something different. If you can do something extraordinary or something crazy on the air, we'll give you a ticket to sit not in the crowd, but behind him on stage on pillows. And so I was like, okay. And so I called up, the show is from like 6 to 10. And I called at 5:30 in the morning, just like geeking out, like, what can I do? And I remember having an old stereo in my room, in my closet. And I'm like, maybe I can break this stereo. They can hear me breaking it. And that would be it. So I call up at 5:30 and the guy's like, people have been calling and saying they're going to break more expensive stuff. We need something better than that. So I'm like, I don't even know what I should do. And then I was like, I just woke up. I'm sitting here in nothing but boxer shorts. Like, I'm trying to figure out what to do. And the guy's like, what's near you? And I was living out in the valley out in Van Nuys. And I was like, well, there's a Denny's about a mile away. And he's like, I just had an idea. And I was like, I think I know the idea that you had. I was like, do you want me to walk into Denny's in just my boxer shorts and try to order food? And he's like, he was like, I will put you on the air with Kevin and Bean if you do that. And I was like, consider it done. My roommate had just broken his wrist in like 6 places and he was supposed to go in for surgery that day. And so he woke up like completely disoriented and it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, dude, get in the car. You have to drive me to Denny's. And it's like, I have to what? I was so excited for this. I didn't even bring clothes with me. I literally went in the car in just my boxers.
He would do that.
Yeah. So I get on the air, Kevin and Bean, I'm sitting in the car and they're like, go in and order. So I walked in and I was like, hey guys, I'd like to order some breakfast. Can I get some pancakes or, some eggs? And there was just like an old lady manager there and like 2 busboys, nobody in the restaurant. And they're just looking at me like I'm an alien and I'm on the air on my cell phone. And then I was like, oh, no breakfast? Let me order some lunch, right? I'll just order some lunch. And they're like, no. And I said, you guys aren't really going to serve me, are you? And then Kevin and Bean are like, Bryant, can we get a sidebar? So I walk over by the exit and I'm like, what's up, guys? And they're like, they're not going to serve you. I said, I don't think so. They said, you know what you got to do next? And I said, no, I don't, but I bet you're going to tell me. And they're like, you got to moon them.
Oh,
and I was like,
dude.
Amazing.
I was like, you think so? And they're like, yeah. So I walked back up to the counter and I said to the manager.
You get arrested for that.
Yeah, well.
These days, yeah.
Well, here's the thing, right? So I said, you guys really aren't going to serve me, are you? I said, you probably just don't think I have money. I have a wallet. You just can't see it. And they were not. They did not like my humor.
So did you order a moons over my hammy and then?
So I was like, all right then, and I turned around and I had one hand on my cell phone and with my other hand I mooned him, and you could hear the manager going, "That's it, I'm calling the cops." And I was like, guys, and they're like, "Run, Bryant, run." So I ran into the car, and there was like a Krispy Kreme donuts across the street, and I was like. My roommate's name was Mike. I was like, Mike, drive to the Krispy Kreme. I don't want the cops coming after me. And he was listening to it on the radio. And so I won. They were like, that was awesome. You get a ticket to be sitting on stage behind him. That's when I got the nickname from my friends. They nicknamed me Moons Over My Hammy.
That's fantastic.
So on the day of the actual breakfast, like we were sitting behind him, I got to like shake his hand and say hi. But I didn't actually get to like talk to him. And then in 2001, the next summer concert series, they were doing a few shows in California, and then they did 2 in Vegas at Sam Boyd Stadium, where UNLV plays football. So I got tickets to that, and there was an opening band. She was this African singer named Angelique Kidjo, and we'd seen her through the California, San Francisco, LA shows, and then in Vegas. And the first night of Vegas, afterwards, we just happened to be in one of the casinos at Mandalay Bay. And there was the background band for Angelique Kidjo. And so me and my friend were like, we love you guys. You guys are amazing. There's 3 people opening for Dave, but we always come for you because you're awesome. And they're like, well, if you see us tomorrow, say hi. And I had tickets for the second night, like 5th row. So after the opener, we saw the drummer, Tony, backstage. And so my friend had gotten the Angelique Kidjo CD at the merch booth. And we were like, Tony, hey, can you send this back to Angelique and have her and the band sign it and bring it back to us? And Tony's like, okay, well, how many of you are there? And I was like, well, it's just me and my friend. And then we have like 2 or 3 other friends over there. And he's like, there's only 5 of you? And he's like, come back with me.
Oh my God.
So we went back. right after Angelique was Macy Gray, who I
Oh,
can't
wow.
stand.
Oh, yeah.
I can't stand her. Her
Oh.
voice is like nails on a chalkboard to me.
Well, it's an acquired taste.
Well, I've never acquired that taste. So, so my friends went up to her trailer and they were knocking on the door, and she gave them the cold shoulder, and I was like, "Yeah, see, I knew it." And then we went back and we hung out with Angelique, and her and the band signed, and then we saw Dave and his wife like 50 feet away, and that's when his wife was pregnant with the twins.
Oh.
And so we were like, "Are we able to? Are we allowed to like go and say hi?" And she's like, "Yeah, he's a great guy. His wife's fine." And so we went over there, and I told him, last year you did that breakfast with Kevin and Bean, and I told him what I did in order to sit behind him. I was like, "Yeah, people got to do something
Crazy.
stupid or crazy to see it." And he looked at me and he's like, "How did they know you did it? Did they have a camera on you?" And I said, no, they didn't. But they were on the air, so you could hear it over the phone. He's like, "That's rad." So at least I can say that I got the kudos from the guy that I did it for, because people were like, "Yeah, did you tell Dave that you dropped your drawers for him?" I said, "Yes, I did."
That's a break.
Yeah, I have the pic, and then he took a picture with us, so I still have the picture.
Oh, we got to get a copy of that.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. We want pictures.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes,
We're going to take a quick break,
yeah.
Bryant.
Mhm.
I love this. I know you two are both geeking out for tonight. I know you're going to have a blast. And we definitely want to talk about the Mansion days.
Of course.
So let's take a quick one. We are here with Bryant Horowitz. I should say Dr. Bryant Horowitz, right here on Rogue Bunnies Mayhem.
This is Jennifer Pershing, Miss March 2009 with exciting news. The Rogue Bunnies next drop is almost here, and we want to know, what's in your NFT wallet? Only 69, yes, you heard that right, 69 unique Ordinals NFTs will be dropped on October 23rd in an epic exclusive collection. This Ordinals Founders Drop features Victoria Fuller, with each Ordinals displaying a gold key, aka VIP status. Not only will you have invites to our in-real-life events and direct access to the Rogue Bunnies, you also receive a Series 1 Rare Pack free, $190 value. Want more details? Sign up for info at ordinals.roguebunnies.com. That's ordinals.roguebunnies.com. It's time for you to go rogue with us.
Welcome to the metaverse.
We're back, Rogue Bunnies Mayhem, and you just told like the most amazing story, Brian.
Yeah.
That was so crazy. I'm now calling you Moons Over My Hammy. I never knew this. Dr. Moons Over My Hammy.
Dr. Moons, that's right.
Dr.
Dr.
Moons.
Moons. Yeah.
I thought you were the president of the fan club because I was telling Jen that I remember at the mansion, and I have to look for it. You had said, "Hey, Brian, you want something really cool and rare?" And he goes, "They're doing this special CD that only members could get," and I actually bought one of those. But so you were just part of the fan club? Is that how that was good? Because I have that. Did that ever get released, or is that rare?
What is he talking about?
I think he's talking about one of the warehouse CDs
Oh, okay.
from the fan club. Yeah. So no, there was no. It's not fan run. It's run by the band. So there was no president and officers. I would have run for president, of course. But
And he would have been elected.
actually, you say that, but
I would have been vice president.
remember that, like on the West Coast, we only get like 6 shows. Like I always get mad at you because
Well,
you're
that's
like, "Oh,
why
I've got."
I would go coast to coast from being from New Jersey.
Yeah.
I would do my 2 shows here, but then I would go home to New Jersey for my 3. So I would do 5 to 6 a year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had 5 to 6 throughout, like
yeah.
California, and then maybe Vegas
Mhm.
once in a while, maybe Arizona, something like that.
But
like,
you took like special time off of work to go all those shows, though. I had to.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I had to get permission from Brian. Yes.
Yeah, I had to grant those
You were a
vacation
Dave
time.
facilitator.
I wasn't I?
But remember,
No, I remember you used to use all your vacation time for Dave,
yes, but we had an agreement.
and that was your holiday.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, go ahead.
that and Super Bowl Sunday. But I had our agreement every year was that I would work every single holiday that you needed me to because I didn't care.
Yep.
I would work Christmas. I would work, you know, New Year's. I would work all of those, right? And Thanksgiving,
the
whatever
things
you
we do
needed,
for Dave.
I would do that. And I said, the only thing I want in return is I don't want to work Super Bowl Sunday, and I want my time off for Dave.
Yeah.
And that was the
And
agreement.
and it was agreed, and it happened every year.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Why
trust
take
me,
time
trying
when
to find
you-
someone that's willing to work the holidays,
Right.
and that's it.
Right.
I'm like, done. When did you two find out you liked Dave Matthews together? Because you know what's fun is that, you know, Jim, we've talked about how we're family. We all have our different friendships.
Yeah.
Dave Goria, what was the other chef? The one that discovered you actually at Steel Panther. Matt Chin, right?
Yep.
Matt Chin. I don't remember you going to any of the Steel Panthers.
No, but he was
I
at
did.
Panther all the time.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, for sure.
I would go with Matt and Gabe and,
Yep.
and the
And I
guys.
think we found out that we were Dave fans then because I was going to.
That was the Key Club days.
Yes,
yeah.
that
we
was
knew
prior
each
to
other.
House
House of Blues,
Yeah.
yes.
Because that was like, it was almost like 2007, 2008.
Yes.
And then I was 2009. So we hung out for a long time before I even was going up to the mansion and all that. It was almost actually weird the first time I came up for a Friday buffet because you were like serving.
Yeah.
And I felt so weird because we were like friends at Panther. And then
now I have to go
he's
get her
like,
drinks.
hi. Like, hi, I'll have some salmon. And I'm like, this is weird. Like, I don't, like, I'll get my own food. Like, this is it. And he's like, no, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah,
it was like weird.
Yeah, we were actually hanging out the day that the original saxophone player, Leroy, passed away.
We were at that show.
At that show at Staples Center.
Like tailgating, and we're texting each other like, oh my God.
When the news came out, yeah.
And it was literally, those two shows were like probably top 5 most memorable shows.
Yeah.
The first night was all the shows that he loved. And the second night was all of the songs that he didn't like to play. And that's when I got my number 41 again.
Yeah. They opened the show with Bartender.
Yep.
And there was not a dry eye in the house.
Oh my God, bawling. Just all of us bawling.
I'm like laughing. I'm
I hope
so
our
unfamiliar
bartender's
with
taking
any of
care
this.
of you
It's
guys.
like,
oh my gosh.
It's funny that you mentioned that because when you're saying that you're up at the mansion and Bryant is there serving, we did have strict rules about fraternization.
Yes.
And I remember one time I got taken into the office and GM was talking with me and just going, look, everybody lives in this town. And, we have the no fraternization rules. And this is where I had a straight out time to go, look, how do we go out?
Yeah.
And we all happen to like music. We all happen to go out to the same places. So are we supposed to be rude and ignore the girls that we see at the house? I go, trust me, none of us are trying to hit on the girls.
Right.
They're our friends. If anything,
yeah.
we're protecting them.
Yeah, like we felt more comfortable wherever we were because we had like like 5 or 6 guys from the mansion that were like hanging out with us, they would just,
I was just talking to people about this, and it's like you have people who are coming in 18 years old. They're not even adults yet.
Yeah.
They've never been outside of their own community. And then they're coming here and they're not feeling comfortable. And we are not allowed to fraternize, but we're also supposed to make them feel welcome. We're supposed to let them know. We give them the tours. When they first come in, we are the ones that they are relying on to help them out. The butlers, yes.
The girls always know.
And
the butlers, the first people you meet, butlers are the ones that introduce you around.
Right.
And the
they
butlers
take
are the
care
ones
of you. Like anything that you like want or need, that's who you're talking to. You develop like a rapport with them. I can't remember how many conversations we had in the Mediterranean room about
many.
Like Dave would just come in and be like, "Did you see what they played last night?" And everyone's like, "Oh God, here they go." They all would move into the dining room, and there would just be me and him in the med room,
That's
just
hysterical.
like talking about Dave.
it was a weird fine line that we were like, we're not creepy.
Yeah, no. We had certain like common interests.
Right.
Too bad he didn't have that rule with some of the guests who, when you walked in and you were new, would be a target for said people in the group.
Who are you talking? It's like this is a safe space, remember? What are you talking about? Can we talk?
I'll write it down.
Just initials.
Well,
you know who it is.
Well, the thing
but
is,
I mean,
the thing is that I think after a while. Oh yeah. Okay, well, anyway, we're not going to say that name out loud. But
we all knew.
Yeah, like I was warned ahead of time.
I think as time went on, and even Mary knew, and especially like when I got to start doing the radio show, and I said, "I go, Mary, I mean,
you have to go out and do things.
Gotta go out and do things, and I go, everyone's safe, and she knew that we were all hanging out, and I go." These are our friends. We literally, our group, even though like I'm boss at the place, I'm not boss after. And I would always tell
No.
everyone, don't you
punch
ever
a
treat
time
me like a
clock.
boss. Don't I go, I
Yeah.
am just a dude. We're all hanging out. Let's
Yeah.
have fun. I'm just playing my role and doing my responsibilities. And that's what was so cool. We'd all
Yeah.
hang out.
Yeah.
Was
And
he
then, of
more
course-
worried? Were they more worried about their dating going on and
Yes,
drama
that's what
happening
they
because
thought.
of
Yeah.
dating
Of
as
course.
opposed to really being friends?
But it was
No.
like
More-
Steel Panther. Everyone went to
Yeah.
Steel Panther. Like, I feel like that's why I'm a playmate, because Holly wanted to go to Steel Panther. And that was
Yeah.
her way to
Yep.
get out of the house at midnight on a random night, because I was shooting my stuff backstage.
Yeah.
Like, that was
Yeah.
like Steel Panther was like the glue.
Yeah, I can do you one better. When we filmed the show, when we started filming the show,
Oh, for the girls next door?
for Girls Next Door, when we started filming Girls Next Door, the first like 3 or 4 episodes, like we knew Hef's watching the dailies. And all of a sudden the girls are coming in and we were never like hands behind your back type of butlers, but like we were like, okay, Hef's watching us. He never came into the pantry.
Yeah.
So we were able to be like casual with you guys. And now we're like, what are we supposed to do? And even
What do we do with
Kevin
our
Burns
hands?
came in after like the 3rd or 4th episode that they filmed. And he's like, Bryant, you guys are just statues. And I was like, what do you think? Like, we're told never to fraternize. And now Hef's watching us on film.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want us to do? I don't want to lose my job. I'm not getting paid for this. This is part of my
Right.
regular job. You're just shoving cameras in my face.
And then the next thing you know, you're
And
a
then-
cheerleader.
well, yes, but but
Perfect segue.
but that's when Burns was like, no, I'll get the okay from Hef.
You know, Brian, I like the Girls Next Door show did open up those fine lines that a lot of people didn't know about.
Mhm.
You know how they talk about the fourth wall? You know, I always love the old show is at Three's Company and Mr. Roper looks over and he makes the joke and he breaks the fourth wall and he makes it. I just always love that. I still do it myself. But like you said, now the boss was actually seeing us
Right.
Interact.
how we were. This
Yeah.
is how it was. I
'Cause
mean,
he was
all the girls.
upstairs working. He
Yeah,
wasn't
he never-
watching
Right,
you
right.
interact.
But
yeah.
all the girls came to the butler's pantry.
Mhm.
That's where, well, come on. You're going to order food. You're going to go to the butler's.
That was kind of a magical place, though,
Yeah.
because
There were
I would
always-
always poke around, go, "What's in here?
Yeah.
What's going
Yep.
on?" Like notes and like things.
Yeah.
And so that was an interesting place to be. Plus, I'd always get my free magazines from there.
Yep.
Oh, a funny one. Okay, so let's talk about Girls Next Door, right?
Okay. Sure.
So let's talk about so I remember when they were doing test shots and pilots and they were going to do Hef's World
yes.
and trying to figure out how the show was going to go, they wanted to see about the soup. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And
Of course, because I was the one that explained it.
exactly. So how did we determine who had to take it up? Because it was a big, heavy tray. It was a big, heavy tray. I mean, it was, and you have to hold it steady. You don't want to tilt it. The soup would just literally, because remember, the chefs would fill that soup bowl.
Yes, they would.
Right to the brim. So you've got this metal cover on there. You don't want to have to hand it to him, which was a difficult thing to do,
Yes.
putting it in bed. And then he's pulling on it. If that thing is just slightly sipping it, what do you got? Hot soup all over the box.
And we also had female butlers finally at this time.
Yes.
And so the tray itself was super heavy. It's a balance issue. You have to walk up all the steps and then you have to put the tray down, knock on the door, pick the tray back up when he lets you in. It was a chore. So although people were really excited to do it when they first started working there,
All
like
this
Michael.
over soup.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
yeah, 'cause it's a
But-
big deal. But
right.
I get to go serve.
But when you're
Yeah.
seasoned,
But after a while,
when
you're
you're
like,
seasoned veterans like us, we're just kind of like, well, all right, who's going to do it now? Right? So we devised a system where we would take playing cards and we would put them out and we would say, pick a random card.
and these are
And
the playing cards
these
that
are-
Mary O'Connor would use and Hef would use
Right. These
for
were
gin night, or Mary would do nights. And
Right.
all those
With the-
decks
with the
always
crows? What
got
was it, the
sent to
old
the
crows?
butler's pantry.
Right.
So we had
had
decks of cards like crazy. So turn
millions
everything
of
into
cards. Millions of cards. So what we would do is we would just go, okay, pick a card, and whoever got the lowest card, you'd be the one to take up the soup. And when Hef saw the daily for that,
Oh, no.
That's
he got
amazing.
he felt a little insulted.
Game. A
Oh.
little hurt.
He
We misunderstanding. It was a
But
total
it was
misunderstanding.
it was a
Well,
difficult task. you know?
So he even asked me, he said, so the lowest card takes up the soup. and I said,
Oh man.
I said,
so it's a bad thing, not a good thing?
I said, yes, sir, but I could easily change the game so that the person who gets the highest card takes up the soup. Would that make you feel better? And he's like, actually, yes, it would. And so from then on, we changed it to whoever got the highest card
that's so
would take
cute.
up the soup, because it wasn't a chore, it was a prize.
Yeah, it was a reward.
It
Yeah.
was a reward. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just put the soup in a little thermos?
I was
going to
suggest
the top of this thing.
No.
Done.
Nope.
But before you knocked on the door, like you just poured the soup in.
Yeah, that would have been.
And you put it in the hallway, and then you just put the, you
Nope.
know?
I mean, how do you describe to people the details, right? That had to go into serving
There was
the
a
meal.
book.
There was a book.
There was a
There
book
was
of
a book.
pictures.
Wasn't there like you had to have a certain amount of like perfect potato chips?
It was crackers. It was
Crackers,
saltine
okay.
crackers. You had to have perfect ones. You couldn't have brown edges. You couldn't have broken ones. So we literally had to dig through the box
Now-
and
You know,
make sure.
that's just a good rule for life.
But wait, so I'm remembering because I used to order tomato soup all the time with
You're
crackers.
not half.
We didn't care what crackers looked like when we gave them
No.
to you.
I'll eat any cracker you had if it was free. But I don't know if it was him that came downstairs. He's like, if you put a little cream cheese on those crackers, that soup would taste a lot better. Like, was that something that he did?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because forever after that, now I put cream cheese on my saltines when I eat tomato soup. And,
Oh
and
my
like
God! Was
pepper.
that the soup he had? It was tomato soup, or
No,
it was
he had Lipton's instant chicken noodle soup
Amazing.
The box.
in the box. Like the
I mean, you
salty
like
as
what
shit.
you like.
But do you remember what the tray looked like?
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you have it memorized.
Of course.
What did you have? You have up over in the right-hand corner would be?
We had the basket. We had to have the napkin folded the right way.
Okay.
So that you could fold it double over.
meaning
Okay.
for the
Perfect
crackers, right?
Yep. Top right was the cream cheese. Top left was the applesauce. And then we had the napkin and the spoon.
And then what did you pull from the freezer?
From the freezer, we pulled the chilled glass and we had to pour the whole milk. And that was in the top right corner.
Had his own crystal
Oh my God! You
glass
had milk on
that
the
were
tray
frozen.
too.
Yes.
Milk and
Yes.
soup?
Yes.
Yes.
No, it just I had to get that up. Those
Yes,
stairs are
up
like
those
treacherous.
stairs.
And the
'Cause
tray
they get
was
pretty
heavy.
narrow.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember you guys. I mean,
So your
you guys
arms
always.
must have just been in perfect condition. Like
Well,
all
because
the
people
time.
would bring
Yeah.
that up, and it would be like,
It's like some CrossFit. Like,
yeah, no, it was. I always thought that when you guys would walk
Well,
up with that tray, that
Yeah,
that
and
looked.
carrying
Did anyone ever
folding
spill?
chairs and yes.
Oh,
yeah.
really? Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Yeah, it would suck because then you're bringing it back down. Oh my God. Whoever the chef was on duty at the time would be pissed because they'd have to hurry up and rush it. Now the boss is sitting there waiting for it, remember?
Yep.
And what did you
Oh.
hear?
Where's my soup?
Yep.
Yep.
And it's like, how do you
sir?
explain it? Oh,
Wow.
sir, we spilled it. You know?
That's
I
how he
mean,
stayed thin his whole life. He was not like he had his things that he liked, and he ate simple kind of things,
Yeah.
really.
I mean, yeah,
but it
and-
wasn't like extravagant
Well,
stuff.
very
all the time.
Midwest menu.
Some
It's unreal.
Lipton soup, crackers, and some
We need to get
milk.
But here's the
Lipton's
funny
on
thing, right?
sponsor.
He was such a creature of habit that
Yes.
he had his certain meals
Yeah.
that certain times you knew when it was. You could tell something was up when you look at the clock. You're like, he hasn't ordered his soup yet.
Yep.
What's going on? Or Mary would call down. Has he ordered his soup? No. It's like, what's going on? Something's not right because he was such a creature of habit with timing.
Yeah.
But I remember when we'd come into the butler's pantry. Remember the black book?
Of course.
I mean, for our listeners, everything was written in that thing.
Everything. We had to write who was on the property, what time they came on, what time they
Yep.
came off, when we served him his soup, to the minute.
Every single person from management, we all came in, and when we started our shift, the first thing is you went to the black book.
Yeah.
That would tell you what you missed from the time you left the day before, and we could see everyone. You flip the back page. Okay, I left at this time. Who was the butler on? Who was the kitchen? Remember,
Yeah.
every meal
Yes.
was signed by who made it,
Yes.
by who
Right.
served it.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a big question for you. Talking about in the black book that we would see, but I'm looking at the time. We're going to have to wrap this show up.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have, I know you guys want to get to Dave Matthews.
Sounds like a
but
part
can we do a part two?
Of
Is
course.
it cool? Because I want to
Yes.
keep going. And sorry, everyone listening, you're going to have to listen to part two because I've got a really fun question. We are Rogue Bunnies Mayhem, and
The mayhem continues.